This is section 3 of paper 2 for the higher mock exam. Here we are being asked to change these numbers into standard form. Whenever you write a number in standard form, the first part of the number must be between 1 and 9.9 recurring. So here we are going to use, to represent the 9.5 at the front, the number 9.5. You will then always have times 10, and the power represents how many times you would have to multiply this by 10 to make it into this one. A little trick that we can use is if you put the decimal point in this number where we've put it in our answer and work out how many places we are moving the decimal point to get to the end. Not something we should really do, but it is just a quick little cheat that we can do to work out an answer. So here we've moved it 5 places, so to the power of 5. The next step, or the next question should I say, we need again number between 1 and 9.9 recurring, so 8.522. You can have a number of decimal points with your answer, don't have to leave it to just one, times 10 to the power of 6. For smaller numbers we do the exact same, so here we would have 9.9 times 10, but this time because the decimal point, or because the number is quite small, we are actually technically dividing by 10, but we would write this using a negative power. So here we have moved 4 places, so I will put minus 4. It will always be a negative power for small numbers. The next one, 9.8, and then for our power, we would have times 10 to the power of minus 6. The next question is asking us all about the mean, or in this case, an estimate of the mean. Here we are going to have to use what we did in statistics last year. So we've got these as the numbers represented within the table. Now within this group we do not know, these 4 gardens, where they are between 0 and 20. So we need to come up with a number that we can use to represent the group. That number is the midpoint. You may be given this column in the exam, or you might have to add it on the end yourself to be used later. The midpoint is halfway between the two numbers. So halfway between 0 and 20, as I've put here, is 10. Between 20 and 40 would be 30. Between 40 and 60 is 50. And we would keep working out the midpoint. Whilst this does have a pattern, just be careful. In some exams it will do the numbers in the midpoint so that they actually change each time. A good little trick for finding the midpoint is if you add together the smallest and biggest number for the group and then half it, it will give you the midpoint. So 40 plus 60 is 100, divided by 2, 50. The final column on the table, which again you might have to add, this represents midpoint times frequency. So we are trying to find the total area of all 4 of these gardens. So here we would have 10 times 4 to give us 40, 30 times 7, 210, 50 times 10 is 500, 70 times 22 is 1540, and then 90 times 7 is 630. When we're finding the mean, what we are wanting to do is take the total area of something and divide it by between how many gardens it actually represents. So first we need to add up the final column. Adding this final column up gives us an answer of 2,920. We then need to know how many gardens it represents. Adding these numbers up gives us 50. You will often find the number in the question as well. So the final bit, to find the estimate of the mean, this being an estimate because we have not used exact numbers, we would need to do 2,920 divided by 50. So sharing all of the area between the number of gardens. This comes out as 58.4 metres squared. The question has asked us to compare the mean size of gardens in Leeds and Huddersfield. So we've calculated Huddersfield. Leeds, it says, has an area of 40.65. So my comparison would be Huddersfield gardens are bigger on average. You can go one extra step and say by how much, but normally just making this comment will give you the full marks. The next topic we're looking at is ratio. Here we are combining ratio and an angle question. So what we have here is that the three angles in a triangle are in the ratio 3 to 4 to 5. Now we know that the three angles in a triangle add together to 180. So actually what we're doing here is sharing 180 in the ratio 3 to 4 to 5. The way that we do that is we add together the parts of the ratio, in this case to give us 12. We then take whatever it is we are sharing and share it between 12. So 180 divided by 12, this gives us 15. So that means each part within the ratio is worth 15. So 3 parts would be worth 45. 4 parts, so 4 times 15 is 60. And 5 parts, or in other words 5 times 15 is 75. So here are the 3 angles in your triangle. Here's a second example of the same question, using different numbers this time. It's still 180 degrees because that is what we need to share because it's a triangle. So we would need to do 5 plus 6 plus 7 to give us 18. 180 divided by 18, so sharing the degrees between how many bits there are, will give us 10. So each bit is worth 10 degrees. So taking this back to the ratio, 5 times 10 would give us 50. 6 times 10 is 60. And 7 times 10 is 70. So they are the 3 angles within the triangle. Staying with ratio for the next question, we've got this. In a bag of sweets, the ratio of green to pink sweets is G to P. G representing green, P representing pink. The question wants us to find the fraction of sweets that are pink. With P represents the number of pink sweets, it is P over, and the number at the bottom is the total number of sweets. So if there's G green sweets and P pink sweets, we would have G plus P. Next question is the exact same topic. So here we've got A and B representing red and blue sweets. Just be careful, it doesn't always use the same letters to represent the words. So here, the fraction of red sweets, so there are A red sweets out of a total of A plus B sweets, with A and B being numbers red and blue, so add them together to give us the total number of sweets. So this fraction gives us what fraction of the sweets are red.